In 2024, Kenya witnessed a seismic shift. This wasn't just any ordinary change, it was a transformation that rippled through every layer of society. A revolution not in the streets but on social media, where the digital realm became the new battleground for ideas and activism. In classrooms, where the seeds of change were planted and nurtured, and through the voices of a new generation that refused to be silenced. Gen Z in Kenya stepped up to lead change, cultural, political, and social. They were not just participants, they were the architects of a new era. Let's dive into the Gen Z revolution in Kenya. This is a story of resilience, innovation, and the unyielding spirit of youth. Kenya, a nation of rich history and vibrant culture, has long been home to passionate youth. From the bustling markets to the traditional dances, the energy of the young has always been palpable. But in 2024, something shifted. It was as if a collective awakening occurred, and the youth realized the immense power they held in their hands. Gen Z, those born between the late 90s and early 2000s, came into full force, reshaping everything from politics to pop culture. They were not just consumers of culture, they were creators and influencers. What started as whispers on TikTok and Twitter turned into a powerful revolution, challenging norms and speaking truth to power. These platforms became the new town squares, where ideas were exchanged and movements were born. One of the driving forces behind this revolution was digital activism. The internet became a tool for mobilization, education, and empowerment. With over 75% of Kenya's population under 35, Gen Z turned platforms like Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram into stages for social change. They harnessed the power of connectivity to amplify their voices. They used memes, viral challenges, and hashtags to draw attention to everything from corruption to unemployment to gender equality. These digital tools became weapons in their fight for justice. It wasn't just about entertainment, it was about influence. They understood that to change the world, they needed to change the narrative. Take the hashtag Youth for Change, for example. It started as a simple call for more youth representation in government, but quickly snowballed into a nationwide movement that demanded accountability from leaders and pushed for policy reform. It was a clarion call that resonated across the nation, uniting young people from diverse backgrounds in a common cause. But it wasn't just online. The digital revolution spilled over into the real world. In 2024, Gen Z took to the streets. They were no longer content with virtual protests. They wanted tangible change. From Nairobi to Kisumu, young Kenyans organized protests calling for fair elections, anti-corruption measures, and economic reforms. These were not just sporadic outbursts but well-coordinated efforts that shook the foundations of the status quo. This new generation wasn't waiting for change, they were making it happen. They were the changemakers, the disruptors, and the visionaries. Unlike previous generations, Gen Z didn't just demand better leadership, they became the leaders. They understood that to effect real change, they needed to be in positions of power. Many youth-led movements pushed for greater representation in parliament, and the 2024 elections saw more young candidates than ever before, many of whom were elected into office. This was a monumental shift in the political landscape. The revolution wasn't only about politics, it was a cultural movement. It was about reclaiming their identity and expressing their unique perspectives. Kenyan Gen Z took control of their own narratives, expressing themselves through music, fashion, and art. They were not just following trends, they were setting them. Afrobeat and trap music surged, becoming anthems of resistance. These genres provided a soundtrack to their revolution, echoing their hopes and frustrations. Local designers redefined fashion, blending traditional wear with modern styles. They created a fusion that celebrated their heritage while embracing contemporary influences. Young artists used their creativity to address social issues and promote unity. Their art became a medium for dialogue and a catalyst for change. So what's next? The Gen Z revolution in Kenya is far from over. This is just the beginning of a long journey towards a more equitable and just society. With technology at their fingertips, education as a tool, and a fierce desire for change, Kenya's youth are gearing up for even bigger challenges ahead. They are ready to tackle issues like climate change, technological innovation, and social justice. From tech innovation to eco-activism, the future looks bright, and it's driven by the power of the next generation. They are not just inheriting the future, they are actively shaping it. Kenya's Gen Z isn't just shaping the future, they are the future. They are the leaders, the innovators, and the changemakers of tomorrow. If you're inspired by what you've seen today, hit that like button, subscribe for more stories on youth empowerment, and comment below. How do you think Gen Z will change the world? Your voice matters, and together we can make a difference. Until next time, stay inspired, stay bold. The journey has just begun, and the best is yet to come.